For years, when you thought about open source contact centers, one name probably popped into your head. But things are changing. The ground is definitely shifting. So today, we're going to explore what happens when the old playbook just isn't the whole story anymore, and what that means for the future of how we all communicate with customers.
And it all starts with this question. This one thought is turning the entire industry on its head. It basically says, hey, you don't have to be stuck between a rock and a hard place anymore. Choosing between those expensive, lockdown systems and the limitations of older open source options. This is the real jumping off point for a whole new way of thinking.
So what does this new way of thinking actually look like in the real world? Well, we're talking about a pretty clear vision for 2025 and beyond. It's a future where your contact center stops being just a cost center and starts becoming one of your most powerful strategic assets. And look, I know these can sound like just a bunch of buzzwords, right? Future-proof, total control, but let's get real about what they mean. Future-proof means you can add that new AI chatbot everyone's talking about without having to rip everything out. Total control means your business needs drive the roadmap, not some vendor's schedule. Flexibility lets you build the exact customer journeys you've always dreamed of. And of course, the cost savings, getting away from those crazy expensive licensing models is a huge, huge win. But hang on, before we get too deep into what's next, we have to talk about where we are right now. To really get why this shift is so massive, we first got to look at the legacy that's pretty much defined this space for over a decade.
And yeah, that name, I bet a lot of you already know it, is Vicidial. For the longest time, it has been the go-to, the absolute powerhouse for so many organizations that wanted to avoid getting locked into proprietary systems. I mean, it really did pave the way and showed the world what was possible with open source.
And this is the critical question we have to ask ourselves now. The world is just a fundamentally different place today. Customer expectations? They're through the roof. The tech we have now has totally changed the game. So, is the foundation that was built for yesterday really going to cut it for tomorrow? So what we're seeing right now, it isn't just some small update, a version 2.0. We are at a genuine turning point. The entire communications landscape is shifting under our feet, and that means we need a completely new approach, one that's built for today's tech and, even more importantly, for today's customer. This is exactly what people mean when they talk about a paradigm shift. This isn't about making a few little tweaks to the old way of doing things. It's about completely rethinking our basic assumptions of what a contact center even is and what it could be, and that's the exciting part. Okay, let's really break this down. The past was all about these massive, all-in-one, monolithic systems. They were built for voice, first and foremost, and the infrastructure was pretty rigid. The future? It's the complete opposite. We're talking modular platforms. Think Legos, where you can pick and choose the best parts that all work together. They're built for an omnichannel world from the ground up, and they are hyper-customizable to fit exactly what you need. Okay, so we've talked about the why. We get it. Things are changing. Now, let's get to the fun part, the what. What are the actual tangible advantages of building a contact center for 2025? Let's look at what you really gain by jumping on board. When you really peel back the layers on these modern platforms, their power pretty much boils down to 3 key advantages. Think of these as the pillars that will completely change how you operate and compete. First up, flexibility like you've never had before. Because the system is modular, you can swap parts in and out. Want to plug in that cool new AI assistant or a different CRM? No problem. You can do that with modern APIs without having to rebuild everything from scratch. You're not trapped anymore. Second, the cost savings. And this is a big one. Think about it. Instead of paying for a huge, bloated, all-in-one license that's packed with features you never even touch, you're only paying for the specific pieces you actually need. Over time, that makes a massive difference to your bottom line. And finally, number 3, total control. This might be the most powerful one of all. You own your tech stack. You're in the driver's seat. You decide when to upgrade, what to integrate, and how to innovate. You're not stuck waiting on a vendor's timeline to get the features your business needs right now. So what does all this add up to? It's a complete redefinition of customer engagement. Simple as that. When you have this new level of flexibility, cost efficiency, and control, you can finally start creating these incredible communication experiences that are perfectly tailored to your customers. And that's how you build real relationships and get way better results. So really, it all boils down to this one fundamental choice.
The tech you use for your contact center isn't just a tool, it's a statement about your vision for the future of your business. So the question I want to leave you with is this: are you building a contact center for yesterday's world, or are you engineering one for the incredible possibilities of tomorrow?